Alright guys, today we're going to be reading Creepypasta that I just made. This took me a couple weeks to make. I hope you like it. Alright. Omnipresent Animal. Prologue. The year was 2017, and I just played a remake of a game that I played years ago called Lou the Fox. Then I had an idea. What if I went back and played the original game? So I went on the internet searching for a cheap copy of the game, and after looking for a while, I found a listing for the game on a floppy disk. Perfect, I thought to myself. So I bought it, and after a few weeks, it arrived. Chapter 1, The Adventure Begins. I looked inside my mailbox, and there was, the game. I was excited to see that the game had arrived. I quickly brought it inside and opened it up, but I saw something strange next to the floppy disk. A note? It was a very crudely written note, as if it was written in a hurry, and removing all spelling and grammatical errors, it said something like this. Please, someone find a way to get rid of this floppy disk. I tried, but something keeps stopping me. Do not pay! I didn't know what that last part was supposed to be. My best guess is play. But when I first read that last part, I thought, I'll pee if I want to. Now I'm pretty sure it was supposed to say do not play. But disregarding that note, I popped it inside of my old computer and started up the game. The starting screen looked just how I remembered it, with Lulu's classic blue and purple fur, and her paws over the title. But when I pressed play, I swear I saw something. Like, I think the background got darker and Lulu's face was blacked out. But I didn't think much of it, and I played it off as just my imagination because it was kind of late, so I assumed my mind had just been playing tricks on me. Chapter 2. Something seems off. So I knew it's, as I have previously said. I pressed play and was transported to the first level. High Mountain Zone. And I immediately felt something was off. The level seemed empty. I swore there had been more enemies in this level last I checked, and yeah, sure, there was still some enemies, like a wombo or two, but it just felt kind of isolated to me. Like I was somewhere I wasn't meant to be. Like a playground after hours. But nonetheless, I pressed on. What could possibly go wrong, I thought to myself. So I went on as usual, playing normally, and then the music stopped. Just for like 3 seconds, and it played slowed down. Strange, I said to myself. But then something I had never expected happened. Text popped up on screen. But it wasn't normal text, no. Not character dialogue. It was off-center white text that said, don't you remember? I was a bit put off by this, unsettled to say the least. But in my head at this point, it seems like this could probably be a ROM hack. That was until it said my name and much, much more. The text changed to say, Lucas, don't you remember that night? At this point, I was freaked out, and also a bit confused. What night was she talking about? Who was speaking to me? And at this point, I didn't know what to do. But right after I thought that, compressed laughter went into my headphone speakers. Creepy, I thought. When I was about to press the space bar, Lula turned to face me and said, You are not in control anymore. My heart stopped, if only for a second. Frankly, I was shocked. Wasn't in control anymore? I knew this had to go deeper. Chapter 3, the deeper it goes. It went to the next level, just as normal. Wooden ocean. Again, the level was still pretty empty, now amplified by the now echoey music, with the enemies, again, being few and far between. And after picking up what feels like my thousands collectible, I noticed something. A strange, black, blood-like substance now on the floor of the level, and water started dripping from the ceiling. Red text came on screen and said, The Trip. And I would think I knew what she was referring to, and if I was correct, Then, well, this must be something far beyond my comprehension. I quickly said, "Nope," and ejected the floppy disk. I needed to destroy it. So I got out my pocket knife and I was about to cut the floppy disk, but something stopped me. As if someone had physically grabbed my arm and stopped me from getting rid of what I now think is a possessed game, no matter how stupid that may sound. Suddenly someone spoke. Not through my headphone speakers, not in real life, no. Inside of my head. Chapter 4. Now this is getting interesting. And it said, "Don't you wonder what could be next? You can't blunder this opportunity now, can you? No, you can't. And you won't. Not after what you did to me." Holy moly, there was absolutely no other explanation at this point. No siree. But nonetheless, I tried to compose myself. I took a deep breath and said, "Who are you?" And the voice replied, "Play the game and you'll find out." So I reluctantly popped the game back in. And I would have never expected what I saw next. Chapter 5. The Boat. A pixelated yet realistic picture of a small canoe with me and two of my other siblings, one of which I could barely crawl. I was right. It was the boating trip. But I didn't remember anything bad happening, though maybe I just repressed it. Then white off-center text came on screen once more. I was always afraid of the water, but it seems you're afraid of me now. And the text turned red and said, "I've been stuck here for over 5 years. And I thought, it's been that long? And the text changed to say, "Oh, how could you forget?" And suddenly it switched to the water level and started playing the drawing sound effect. "Sound familiar?" Lulu whispered. And me, being kind of freaked out, yet still polite, said, "Sure." And Lulu replied, saying, "How can you be so clueless, yet oh so guilty?" And when Lulu died in the game, it flashed a black and white picture of my distant sister. And it seemed like it went back to the beginning of the original level, but instead of saying the name of the level, it said, "Laura is here." Something was horribly wrong. Chapter 6. No Other Choices. When the level started, instead of playing as Lula, I was playing as Hopper. But wasn't Hopper only able to be played as with cheat codes? But then again, a lot had gone wrong in this game, so a different player character shouldn't be much concern. This level had a subtle yet distinct red tint on it. This level also had water dripping, but it was more like rain than last time, and there was also no more enemies or items, just Hopper, the echoey melancholic music, the sound of his footsteps, and the drip 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 of the water against the floor. And after walking for God knows how long, I came across, who do you know? Lula. But this time she looked different. Chapter 7. The Gray Fox. Lula, at first, had pure black eyes with the fur. Instead of being the soft color palette I was used to, it was black and white except for her tongue. And she seemed to be hiding something behind her back. When she unsheathed her weapon, I felt a sharp pain in my chest, as if she had already stabbed me with that blue shiny knife. A question came on screen. Want a head start? 2 options were below. I could use the arrow keys to pick which one. Yes or no? I chose yes. And a timer popped on screen. 30 seconds. And it counted down as I ran in the game as Hopper, as far as I could. Soon the timer was up, and a compressed screech intruded my headphones. Chapter 8. You've got to be extra quick this time. Lula quickly became more distorted, with her eyes now flashing bright and intense color into my retinas as the panic sets in. She sprouted large wings, comprised of mostly water with visible bones inside, and fast-paced music played. My blood was racing as fast as my heart at this point, and it was unclear whether I'd actually die if I died in the game. "Your fate is sealed," Lula said with a distorted voice and a large grin on her face. But I was determined to live, and I still had the will to survive inside of me. I somehow outran her. "Better than I thought," said Lula, surprised, as I was quickly brought into to a dark room, still in the game, and still playing as Hopper. Chapter 9. Is this the end? Amidst the darkness, I came across one character, Lula, just standing there, menacingly. "You know, Lucas, a fox needs her little rabbit," Lula spoke ominously. I was scared to see where this was going, and the fact that I was playing as Hopper, who is a rabbit, didn't help. "I have two options," Lula began. "I either do away with you in a gruesome fashion, or I could bring your soul into the game, leaving your body as usual, with no one even noticing that you're gone." I tried to press the escape key, but Lula spread her wings and said, "You can't escape now, Lucas. I've had my chase, and now let's get to the main course." Suddenly, wires from my computer started trying to end me, and Lulu seemingly was controlling them. The wires wrapped around my neck and asphyxiated me. But in my last moments of consciousness, Lulu was there, on the screen, smiling, and said, "This isn't over." I've now become Hopper, inside the floppy disk, with her. Help me. And that was the story. I hope you really liked it. And, yeah, check out the Scratch project. It has some art on there if you want to check that out. I'll put that in the description. And, yeah, just comment your thoughts on this little story that I wrote. And I'll see you in a bit. Ooh, yeah. Bye-bye.